Okay, I bought the short shift kit and the golden rod from FDM. I'm just going to do a video on it and see how I go. There's a list of things I need to do. I need to have 17mm wrench. I'm hoping, I can't see in there where you use that, so I'm hoping that's a socket wrench of some sort, because I don't have two of those, but I can go and buy some if I need to. Dead blow hammer. Not sure if this needs modifying now. I think it might have changed. We'll find out, but I've got a mallet somewhere, should be right. 30mm wrench socket, yeah, got that. Needle nose pliers, got those. 90mm open end wrench, got one of them somewhere. Got that. Small standard screwdriver, definitely. Medium strength thread lock. I can only get 243, which apparently is the same thing, but is better with dirt and grease than that apparently, so that should be okay. And white grease I've got. Install should take about 60 to 90 minutes after the car is in the air. I'm tipping it's going to take me about 3 hours, and just because I'm going to be slow. So we're just going to rip through follow these instructions that you can download. I'm just going to make a video, so I'm not going to go through these step by step. Like such as removing the shift knob thing here. Apparently you push down and just force it out. I've taken my console thing off before and I found it quite difficult to get it back in, so I might just take this center console bit out again. It's not a big job, and pry that off that way, but I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm just going to take a video of it and see how we go. Hopefully the car doesn't crush me, so yeah. Okay, so I've taken out my center console, undone it. There's a couple of screws back there. The two screws for the cup holder, one screw under the handlebar just here to remove this cuppy thing, and there's also a couple on here, so those two, and one under there for the black bit in the trim in the middle, don't see that, and then there was a couple down here in the padding. Also noticed this cord coming out of the handle is really quite squished there. I don't have no issues with it, but maybe putting it back, I might put something over the top of that just to stop it getting squished so much by, looks like that part of this holder squishes it on, so maybe I'll just scrape that back a bit just so I don't want to cut the wire. Just notice that. And then in here I had to take this bit out, pulls out, and there is two screws in there, and that has loosened up my whole thing, and so hopefully get this up high enough past the seatbelt buckles to get under here. I'll see if I can show you. Alright, so I've got that sort of out, and I can get access under here to the clips. Okay, so this clip, you can see one clip, and there are the two clips you got to pry off, and I think you do that by just pushing down on the top of the, technically what they say to do is you just push down on this bit here, this rim here, and it just pries out. But I think getting it out might be okay. Putting it back in, I think, might be a different story. Don't know. Anyway, I'm just going in there and pulling it out myself. So I now remember why I get it in the console and do it, because this is the clip. And if you look at this little jagged bit, hang on, it's a little jagged toothy bit. If you're pushing that straight down, that's sort of wedged over a bit of plastic. So I don't know how you can just push down on it and push it out. It really sort of clips in, unless this whole bit's meant to stay in and just the top bit comes out. I don't know. But anyway, I've taken them both out. I've got a screwdriver in between these. Sorry, the focus is so bad. I've got a screwdriver in between the pointy sort of sharp bit there and the flat little bit next to it, and just pried it open, and then pulled it down, and it sort of came out. It's a tricky job though, bit of swearing involved, but okay, yeah, popped down, so all loose and nothing connected. I think it's meant to be sort of in. I think you're meant to push down here and pry that off, but because it sits in a groove on this side, the holder sits in a groove on that side and is clipped in on this side, for me anyway. Right hand drive, don't know if it's different, it shouldn't be different to any other car, but anyway, well, that's it. The bit's off. There goes my first 60 minutes. Whew. Anyway, okay, so let's start with a little gentle prying. Yeah, that was on there. A little bit of gentle prying, pulling, just gentle pressure or whatever. That came off. I've had this off before, and this is gutsed a bit at the front here. I've never repaired it because I couldn't see how it would then fit back on without being gutsed. So someone's had this off before me and sort of cracked the front of it, but it goes back on fine. Maybe the leather holds it together, and it doesn't seem to affect it too much, but it would, like technically, that's not good. But anyway. Okay, stage 2, remove the under panel. So that's what I'm going to do. Just took off my front panel, and because my back floor panels are wedged in by my lift. There was an extra, I don't know, 10 nuts or 8 nuts, but it was easy with a drill. Just whipped off the little side panel that's just up here. Covers that. Sorry, that's very close up. Took off my 10 things, pulled the thing out. It's all down there on the ground. You can see the front panel there. Center panel is just there next to it, and the little panel's over there holding some nuts and shit on it. So now I've got access to the boot and all this stuff under here. So let's go. Now I've got to, what I've got to do, pull the rubber boot, pull it down, use a pickle fork, 19mm end to separate the ball cup joint, slip the wrench in between the cup and the end of the forward fixed rod and the shift lever between the red lights and below. Continuous pressure prying down, we'll pop it off. Let's see. Heard that story before. Okay, I've pulled them down. I pulled it down. I didn't pull from the bottom. I just got my fingers up the top and just pulled the lip off and pulled it down. So I got a bit of access in there. In there, looks like that's the bit I've got to pry off. So that's between the red lines. I'd laugh if I went here and already had a bloody short shift kit on it. That'd be funny. Well, that is. Focusing on it. That is off. But I'd rewrite the instructions saying it just popped off. I'll tell you, it didn't just pop off. Took a little bit of love. Okay, I've got to do the same thing at this end. Or I can just pull it down and it comes off apparently, but after the last effort I'm doubting that's going to happen. Let's see. That one's out as well, the front one. It took me a little while, but I think I was just being careful because I've never done it before. I didn't want to snap anything off or anything, but in the end I just sort of pulled it down and just pried off almost on its own. I didn't want to bend that, but there's no way you're bending that, I don't think. But anyway, it's off. It's off, booty's off. Let's go to the next stage. Okay, up underneath there are 4 red Allen things. You can see them there, and there's a little spring clip somewhere. I think just there. I've got to take off just at the end of that rod. Doesn't matter which order you do it in apparently, so I'm going to do the bolts first, and then the little E-clip. Hang on. The E-clip's just there. I might just do that first. Take that off. Whatever, E-clip, I don't know what they're called. Clip on the end of that. Okay, so I've got the 2 halves out. The instructions, I can't remember what exactly they say, but it's like loosen the foil and bolts, let the bottom half drop down, rotate the top half and let it all drop out, which basically makes sense at the time when you're doing it. This bit's sort of half stuck, and because you've never done it before, the top half's up there, but what's spinning around, don't really know. But in the end, you literally, I've only got 2 hands, I've obviously only got 2 hands. So hang on, let me just do a couple of things here. Yeah, if it's like that, it stops you pulling the bottom half straight out because that bend in the shifter hits the top casing. So you're basically rotating the casing, like that or similar, and then you can pull the bottom shaft down and out, and then it all just sort of comes out. So anyway, it's out. That one's a little bit not straightforward to, but once you've done it once, it'll be easy as. Okay, so I took off the spring washer things here, whatever that spring washer is, the clip or whatever, and pulled it apart, gave it a clean. My O-rings stayed inside the unit, so I've left them there, haven't touched them. Gave it a bit of a wipe out because it had a lot of crap in there. I think it came from underneath the shifter boot when jiggling it, trying to get it all out. So I'm not sure I was supposed to wipe it out or not, but I'll add more grease to it, whatever it says. So here are my bits here that I've taken apart. Sorry, it's a bit all over the shop, so I've given this a bit of a clean up. There's still gritty in it, not grit, but there's something in there, I'm not sure. So I don't know whether to give that a wash or not. I'm just very much don't let slip, don't touch what's not broken. I'm going to make sure these guides are clean and we'll re-grease them up. These bits came out of One of these out of this banger, one of these anyway. Came out of like here. And I thought, oh, they're broken. I thought, oh, this one's cracked, but you should be right, you know. But the other one I took out was exactly the same, so I'm assuming they're meant to be sort of half cracked. Got my thingos. So really, following the instructions, I basically just slide in the new shifter bit, which is in here, and just reattach all the clips, reattach the banger, and oh, that one's got a crack, the split in it as well. Interesting. I'll give that a clean up too, and then just put it all back together. Okay, so it's back together. The reason I'm going into detail about taking it apart is it's pretty straightforward. Just make sure that clips in properly. That's it together. So you're going to have to just looking at, see this toppy with my thumb and that so I can't remember how do I fucking zoom out of that. Thumb is well over the this casing just here, so you can't have the casing sitting like that because you can't feed it up. So you've got to basically have the casing off. I'm assuming sort of to the side, so you put that in first and have it sort of sitting to the side. You would then slide this lever up into position, and then when it's into position you would, and I can't hold the phone at the same time, I'm really sorry, you would then roll it back over and then do it up. So, which is what the instructions actually say that, but that's the opposite of taking it out. But that could be a little bit clearer. But anyway, I mean, I worked it out. Anyone else can work it out. So. Okay, so they're back in, but I'm almost rather just kick myself in the balls and do that again. That was just annoying. But it was true. Once you got one of them in, though, the rest going really easy. So I haven't put Loctite on them yet. I'm going to take them out one at a time and then put the Loctite on them and then put them back in. But that's where we're at so far. Got that little white plastic washer greased up as well, if you can see that just there, back in there. And we'll get onto the goldenrod next and see what happens. Okay. Okay, I'm just wondering if I can do this without taking this whole back, this back plate off. Sorry, bad picture. I'm zoomed in, but yeah, there's the covering, plastic covering. So I was wondering if I can get to this boot. That's the nut I got to take off. So I'm going to do that. Oh, there it is there, and slide that out. So just the perspective. There's the car. There's the goldenrod shifter running back. Got my floor plate just here. Here, which I'll come to take off, and I've got access to this nut, so I don't think I have to take it off. Though I might want to take it off because I want to have a look at the transmission mount in there later and see if that's buggered up. Looks okay, but sorry, very out of focus. It looks okay, but I just don't know. But the problem is it's all wedged under my lifter to get all the screws out, so I can't do it in one lift. Anyway, I'm going to take this off and get this old rod out. So I see I undo that screw and drag it back towards the front of the car. Okay, that's come out. It's a nut and a washer from the little hole there. Let's see if this thing just shifts out. So that's not like gears changed. I think they just sort of changed gear. I don't think it actually. I'm going to need two hands to give this a pull, so I'm just going to do that. Okay, that has come out. That took a fair pull to drag that. So yeah, double hands, good firm pressure, and yeah, it yanked out. So, and it looks a bit loose. Let's have a look how poor it is. So. Okay, that's out. Don't forget, don't lose this little grommet in there. You're going to need that little plastic bit. And this, you can really see the, I don't know if that's meant to be tight or not, but that's so I presume with a bit of shifting it was a bit, I don't know if it's meant to do that, but I don't think it is. So that's a fair bit of wobble in that. So hopefully it'll tighten up the shifting a little bit. Who knows? Anyway, I'll give that a clean up. Let's get this rubber boot off it. Clean it up. clean up this rubber boot while I'm at it, and we'll get the new one back in. Okay, I have cleaned up the rubber boot and put it on the rod. I didn't actually check which way this came on or off when I did it, which I should have, because it's not actually symmetrical. But going in, I've deduced that the bigger hole is at the gearbox end and the smaller hole is at the shifter end. And it's sitting the wrong way around. If it sits the right way up, so if I turn it the way up it's going to go into the car, which is that way, which I've greased up the top bit. Oh, you can't see it. Greased up the top bit, I've got a white bit on the bottom. The other white washer is already on the car. Is the higher point. It's not, the rubber boot isn't like down the middle, so the higher edge I'm putting to the top of the car and the thinner edge at the bottom. So that's how I'm going to try to put it in anyway. Okay, I've got the boot back in there and cut the nut in, the boot on. I haven't actually got Loctite and that on it yet. I'm going to get it all put back together first before I do that. So now it's got the rod to put in at this end, just there. So I'll lift it up and chuck it in. I took the nut off at the other end again, the fixing nut at the gearbox end, because I found the angle too hard to get this in properly with the plastic clip. So I loosened it, or took it out, left the shaft on, or the golden rod or whatever on the gearbox end. Then I fitted this on because I had a bit of play, a bit of pressure, didn't hit it, just used a fair bit of pressure just to get the angle right, a bit of grease. And then I've rebolted it back at the other end. I'll put the washers and the clip back on here. Okay, measuring the original one from center point to center point, 44.5 centimeters. Okay, well, I've got my shaft here. I'm gonna connect this part onto that bit hanging down halfway, as it says in the manual. That gets you some room to adjust forward and back. Then I'll see where the front end lines up with this, and see how we go. I'll try. So that's what it's looking like at the minute. I've sort of lined it up with the ball. I've gone up the top and it sort of sits in a good spot. I'm not sure why they don't reverse thread one of these, and then you could just twist this pipe and it would self-adjust and then lock it with the nuts at the end. I guess a risk if the nuts come loose it could move, but I think they're threaded the same way. So if you spin this bolt, the long tube, this one would extend and that one would retract and vice versa, so it wouldn't really serve any purpose. But if it was reverse threaded one of them, you could spin it and both would increase and decrease, and you could just adjust it. So that would be a good idea. But anyway, it seems to be in the right spot. So I'm going to now tape this onto the ball, and then go and see what the shifter feels like. And then if it feels okay in the right spot, then I'll leave it at that, because I don't really want to push this on and have to pry it off again, because that'll just wreck the bit in it probably. So yeah, let me just tape it up. Actually, because I've got that sort of marked at a spot, have I? Yeah, I should be able to. On one, but feed that. I will then tape up that end. I'll have to remeasure it because I moved it to get this back on, but I'm going to go for 44.5 centimeters and see what it's like, and then see how it feels. Right, so I finally worked out where the 17mm 2 wrenches are, and that's to hold these two nuts. Well, the rod and the nut to tighten that up, and the same at just in there. I can't pull it back with this, just tighten both ends. Also, it's important that I think that the plane, so if that is sitting like flat, like a cup or whatever, then make sure this end is flat. That is flat as well. So just so they're in the same plane, so one's not at like 45-degree angle to the other one. So just make sure that's flat and that's flat. That's flat when you tighten them up. Okay, so it's sort of taped into spot. Seems to look all right. I'm just gonna see what it feels like, because once again, I think you sort of want to try to get this right the first time. It's not sure if it's too vertical or not for me, but it seems okay. Don't know the angle on this side. If I get a look at it, I know it's about feel, but okay. So I've got my movement going now, which is basically that. I'm thinking maybe sitting it a little bit more vertical. I'm not sure. I'm just trying to think, because that's quite short. That is pulls down. I can't even remember what the other one was like now. So that feels pretty comfortable. I've measured it the same, but I have a feeling I might just want a little bit more, like I'm talking tiny bit more forward, just for that throw down there. It seems, okay, don't want that any more forward. That seems pretty fine actually. Another thing, when I was sort of testing, I still haven't tightened it all the way up, but the nut at the gearbox end, I just sort of had it finger tight to test it, and this was quite wobbly, like it was really quite wobbly. And I was a bit worried, but then I thought, I went back and all I could see, the only thing that would make it wobble would be the nut down the other end, which it was. And now it's like when it's in gear, it's wobbles, but it's not wobbly. It's very quite firm actually. It's good. So don't judge me for the setup, but that's what I did to get the cup on. I could not get it on. I was lifting the car up from the front. I hope I haven't rooted stuff. It just wasn't going on. It is about 10 degrees Celsius outside, or in here probably. It could have been 14 or something. So in the end, I put it up like this, raised the car, took the weight or whatever a little bit, and then hairdryer, which is right here. Banged that on it, just held it there. It was going to give up and going to take it down, and then it just slipped on. So can I suggest that and a bit of a hairdryer on it, and it went on sweet as. So anyway, sorry about that. Sorry, I'm a bit of an angle because I'm lying down. That's it. It's fucking finally on there. Now normally you'd have I'm assuming you'd have the rod connected, but I had to take the rod off so I could get it absolutely flat, because I could not get it on. Otherwise it's on a bit of an angle. I'm not sure, but I think there'd be enough thread either way. Once again, I'll say it again, if one of those threads, either there or down, where's the other end of it? All the way down that end, was reverse threaded, you could literally just change the length of the rod by twisting it. So anyway, let's see how we go. If I can get it screwed on all the way one end, and then I'll screw it all the way on. I think this end's even longer. I don't know, whichever's longer. If there's one longer than the other, I'll screw it all the way on, and then and off the other end, and then try to get it the right length. Anyway, a bit of playing. I think I'll be able to get it the length I want to get, even though it's disconnected. So anyway, see how we go. I just taped the boot out of the way, so this can have access to scratching the metal a bit, just for me to test it. So okay, so it's come up with a little scratch just there, right near the ridge, and sort of you can't really see, but there's a scuff mark across the middle there. So there's already a very slight indentation, you can sort of see it there already. That was there before, so I mean, whether someone else is giving a little tap or whether they normally come like that. I'm just going to try to knock about 1 centimetre wide across here. I know this bend here reinforces it. I'm trying not to bend I don't want to wreck it, but I'm just going to use a flat end of this is like a $10 bloody thing. I'll never use it anyway, just to maybe a bit more of a direct run across there. But anyway, see how we go. I hope I don't fuck this up. Okay, so now you can tell I've sort of flattened it out a bit acrossways. I really wanted to get this bit right near the lip here down, because that's where it actually took some paint off. The rest it just scuffed it slightly, but here it took a bit of paint off. So what I might do is don't think I've warped any rest of it, so I'll give that a little respray with black paint and let it dry out, and then do the same thing again and see if I've still got scuff marks. I'll just tap a little bit more around here just to get a bit more wider there, but that's about it. We'll see how we go. So I've repainted it up, so I'll get it back up there and see if it re-scratches once that dries. Okay, picture's not great, but final test run. First of all, when I was driving it, I gave it a little test without this panel on at all. Obviously, a lot of road noise was coming up through the gear shift lever area inside the car. So really, there's only the rubber boot underneath that probably wasn't connected properly. Then there's a rubber boot on top, sort of under your gear lever cover, under the original leather gear lever cover. There's a rubber boot, and then you've got your rubber boot, your leather boot sort of bit above it. So you've got boot underneath, boot on top, and a leather one on top of that, and there's a lot of road noise. So I have put a Dynamat thing on here just to help reduce that, maybe, don't know. Anyway, and from what I can tell, no scratches in it. It's a bit gutsed. I've got a bit of a lumpy thing there, but I think that's just the way it's got to be. This thing, you can't even, it's rock solid. Can't even hardly move that at all. Like with your finger, it's very, very stiff. All the gear changes are heaps better. I can't even see the throw or not, but that's the throw on it. Second gear, a lot better. It does make a big difference. I had a rattle in the gear stick, so I pulled it off. I always thought it might have been the shifter or the linkages or something, but I've just done the short shift kit, and I know everything down there is pretty solid. So I realised it's just this banger. If I listen, I don't know if you can hear this or not. Bit of a rattle and a shake. So I've taken a look at it, and I think you're meant to pry them up, or you can, or someone's been in here before and fucked it on me. So basically, under the numbers here, I read you're meant to get a little screwdriver, but I've done mine. If I just pull it up around here, very gently, one-handed here. You wouldn't be able to do this one-handed, I think, if it wasn't rooted. So I'm just going to pull that out. The quality of my videos is second to none. And as you can see, one of these clips is broken. And this has deteriorated a bit inside, so I think this plastic bit's just been just enough at the right frequency to rattle left and right. So my plan is to chuck some mastic stuff in it just to stop it rotating around, and we'll rattle it around and see if that solidifies it up. Could be the worst thing in history to do to it, but that's what I'm going to do. Well, I'll just do that and see how it sits in. Okay, so I'll put some inside the middle, put some in around the cap, and that should be enough to stop it, I reckon. Not sure if it will or won't, but otherwise I'll just pry it out again. I think this stuff sort of doesn't seal rock hard. It's just sort of like, window sealing stuff. So anyway, as that TikTok says, who's gonna know? I think that'll be fine. I think that's not a bad solution. I could have glued it in, but I could dry out the glue and rattle. I know what mastic will do, but hopefully it stays a little bit. I mean, it was press fit anyway. It wasn't going to come out, so I think that could be a good result.